Hi, and welcome to the third video for the cat game. So as it is, if I run this program, we should see balls and apples. And we haven't yet coded the reactions, so when a cat touches a ball or an apple touches the cat, but that's the next step. Write the script for what we want to happen when the cat collects an apple. So we want to constantly monitor the status of the sensing block. Is he touching the apple? Is he touching the apple? We're constantly asking this. So because of that, we're in a forever block, and we're simply asking the question, yes or no, are you touching the cat? So we need a sensing block, touching, and we'll just drop down to the cat. If he is touching the cat, what we want to do is bump up this score variable. So we can go into the variables block and change the score for the score variable by 1. In this case, we want to add 1, not subtract 1. So there's that same situation as before. We want to make sure that a single touch of the apple doesn't trigger multiple scores. So we're simply going to just delay for a second. But as soon as the apple touches the cat, we want him to be invisible. He just goes away. Now he's not really gone. He's still on the stage exactly where you saw him, but you won't be able to see him if he's hiding. And every time the apple touches the cat, we want to play a sound. So in that case, we'll just say play sound. Now, which sound do we want? There's one called fairy dust. So let's go into the sounds catalog, and under F for fairy dust, it's kind of like a little chime sound. That was not me. E-F, fairy dust. There it is. So let's play it. There you go. That's what I was after. So we'll have the apple play that sound. So once you've clicked on the sound from the library, he should appear in the drop down here. All right, that's it. Let's test this and see if things are working as we expect them. Watch the score variable, and every time the apple hits the cat, the score goes up by 1, and we play the fairy dust sound. Great. And every time the ball hits the cat, his life is decreasing. So at this point, I'll stop the script. The last part of this program is to write the scripts that control what happens when life gets to 0 or the score gets to some arbitrary number that we're going to select as a winning score. So I will make that a 5. But before we go too far, let's think ahead. Instead of having just one apple fall at a time to make this game more interesting and a little faster, we can have multiple apples falling. So let's do two things. First of all, that apple is a bit large, so let's make him a bit smaller, and we're just going to set the size of the apple to, and you can drop him in either one of these when green flag clicked blocks, just not inside the forever, right? In the forever block, this stuff is monitored constantly, but we only want the set size to happen once. So let's set him maybe about 50%, see if that looks about right. Sure. And one more thing. To make multiple apples, this is really easy. Once you've got your script for an apple set, just click on this and click duplicate. And there's apple 2, and do it even one more time. So now we have 3 apples coming down all at different times. That allows us to score a lot faster. And remember, they're appearing at random locations, right? That's the idea. To finish this program, we just need to adjust the director's script. So we're going to choose to use the stage script, that's this guy right here, to constantly monitor the status of the life and score variables and control how the game behaves when one of those things triggers an end of game event. English before we actually code it. What we want to do is check constantly, is the score equal to 5? If it is, then we want to stop everything and switch the background to the win screen. And we're done. Alternatively, at the same time, we're also checking if the life is less than 1, or that's the same thing as equals 0. And if it is, then we're going to switch to the lose screen and stop all the other scripts. All right, so let's implement that idea. Remember what we said. If the score is greater than 4, in other words, the minimum winning score is a 5. So students, there's really no difference between testing if score is greater than 4 or if score is equal to 5. It truly doesn't matter. So I'll just say score is greater than 4. So here's the thing, you can't type the word score in here. That's not the same thing as the variable score. What you can do is go into the variables block and just literally grab the score variable and put it right there. So that's the test. When that's true, we want to switch the backdrop. So we're going to go to the looks, switch backdrop to the, this is a win condition, right? Yep. And wait a second, and then the game's over. Now the reason I'm waiting a second is we just need time for all the different sounds to finish playing, and then we simply stop all the scripts. So stopping all the scripts is at the very bottom of the control block. That just means whatever any sprites were responding to for their scripts, just stop the show, freeze everything. And we have one more if to test here. So that's the test for the winning condition. Let's put another if block inside of this forever loop here. Now we want to test if the life variable is less than 1. So let's go grab that. There's a less than block. We'll go grab the life variable. Whoops. Drop him in. And if the lives are less than 1, that means we've lost, right? So it's very similar to the win condition. We're just going to go switch the backdrop to the lose screen, and then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to wait a second and stop all scripts. So if you want to, you could grab these two blocks out and just duplicate them. Boom. Maybe save a little bit of time. Just be careful when you're snapping these back together because it's easy to mess up the sequence. But that's the entire script now for controlling what happens when a game-ending event occurs. So let's run this and just make sure that these both work. So I'm letting the cat get hit by the ball. I don't care. Jump. I win. All right, so you notice exactly what we had intended happened. Everything froze. We've switched the backgrounds. And this should also work for a losing situation. Let's see if we can't lose. I'm good at losing games, so I just have to avoid winning, right? Okay, I got one life left. Come on, hit me. There we go. Good. So students, the only issue that I see here is all those sprites are still on the screen, right? At this point, we don't want them to be there. We just want to see the words, sorry you lost. So here's the question. We're saying that the stage director, tells the sprites what to do. So if you're the director of this play, this game, and you're the stage director, you want to say, hey, everybody, go hide. Literally, we want the cat to hide, the ball to hide, and the apple to hide. And the problem is, you are not yet familiar with a block that allows one sprite to tell another sprite what to do. In other words, if we're in the cat script, and we are right now, all of this code applies just to the cat. If we're in a baseball script, which we are now, all of this code only applies to that baseball, and so on for all of the other sprites. So what we want is a way for one sprite, or in this case the stage, as the director, we want the director to be able to tell everybody, okay, game's over, hide, so we don't see them anymore on the screen, right? This is a technique that you will see shortly in the lessons, but since we're right here, let's just show you how this works. It's not difficult. Here's the technique. First of all, let's go to the stage script, and there it is in front of us. Although one sprite can't tell another sprite what to do, he can broadcast a message. It's as if the director is saying, okay everybody, game's over, go hide. That exact thing is done with a broadcast block. So let's add this. If the score is greater than 4, we're going to do all this, wait a second, and then we're going to, actually let's do the broadcast first. Right after we switch the screen to win, let's go tell everybody else to hide. So click on the down menu, and we're going to create a new message, and we're going to call it hide. Let's make this lowercase. H-I-D-E. There we go. So literally think of the stage director as shouting out hide. He's broadcasting that message. And we're also going to do it right here when we lose. Let's just tell everybody to hide. So the question is now, how do these other scripts or these other sprites listen for that message? And that's what this block is for. So if the stage director yells out hide, then the other sprites have to have this kind of block listening for it, and when it receives it, then whatever code we put under here will be executed. So for each of the other sprites, we just need to put this block. When I receive hide, what do we want to do? Literally just hide. Boom. Now we have to put one of these for all of the other sprites that we want to disappear. So actually this is really easy. You can take this little script for the cat sprite and just drag and drop it into the baseball. And if you look in the baseball script now, it's there. We can do the exact same thing. Drag it to each of the other Apple sprites so that they also disappear. Saves you some typing. Alright, so let's just double check that they're really there. Sometimes I just like to see it. It doesn't look like that last one worked. I don't know why. Sometimes the blocks get bunched up on each other. You just have to separate them a little bit. Yeah, like that happened right there. And let's just double check Apple 3. I don't see him, so let's do it one more time. Boom and boom. Okay, so let's check our game status now. We'll just, we'll win. How's that? Boom. Collecting apples. Running away from baseballs. Good. All right. It's exactly what we intended. Well, great job for following along these 3 videos, everybody. I can tell you that any game you create in Scratch will have similar features as this one. A player or players that you can control. We're going to have objectives, that is collectibles, things to earn points or score. We're going to have enemies that cost you points or lives. And of course we're going to have different backgrounds, maybe even different levels that have different backgrounds so that levels look different. Great. Alright, we'll see you in class. Thank you, everyone.